Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Jessie Lingard is staying at Manchester United. Newcastle have ended their interest in Jessie Lingard because of Manchester United's demands. Manchester United have been demanding a 15 million loan fee. The other day, Ralph Rangnick confirmed that Jessie Lingard will leave Man United in the summer on TikTok. Rangnick had a conversation with a fan. Jessie Lingard is keen on a loan move to Newcastle, but he said earlier on this month that Manchester United would prefer to let him leave permanently this month. I heard that Lingard rejected an approach from Everton. Now I'm hearing West Ham want to re-sign him. At the second half of last season, Lingard endured a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. Lingard doesn't get in Manchester United's team, but he has been part of the club for a long time. Lingard's contract at Manchester United expires in the summer. Now I want to give you some more news on Kamara. So Manchester United are leading the race for Kamara. Kamara's most likely destination is the Premier League. Marseille want around £10 million and Kamara wants in the region of £150,000 a week if he's to depart Marseille this month. His contract at Marseille expires at the end of the season. Leeds United are in for Kamara as well. Kamara's been at Marseille for a long time. He's been with them for 17 years. He came up their academy. He joined Marseille's academy back in 2005. And since he broke into Marseille's senior squad, he's made over 100 appearances. Like I say, 22 years of age, predominantly a defensive midfielder but can be deployed as a centre-back. Manchester United have been linked with quite a few midfielders. Now there's been more narratives coming out about Ruben Neves from Wolves. He says Wolves will only consider selling Ruben Neves for around £45 million. Manchester United were hoping that a bid of around £35 million would be enough. So it is Man United and Arsenal that are in for him. I'd take Ruben Neves at Manchester United in a heartbeat. You know, he's been an absolute revelation for Wolves. You know, he's still young and he's well proven in the Premier League, which is beneficial. Ruben Neves has made 170 appearances in the Premier League for Wolves. He's got a contract with Wolves until 2024. He's been at Wolves since 2017. Wolves got him from Porto. They paid £15.8 million. Man United have also been in for Amadou Haidara from RB Leipzig. Rangnick knows the player well, which is beneficial. Revert back to earlier on this season, Rangnick said that he wanted Amadou Haidara as his first signing as Man United manager. We've been relentlessly linked with Dennis Zakaria from Borussia Mönchengladbach, and Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham have been long-term targets for Man United. I can't see Manchester United making a signing before the transfer window closes on Monday. But Rangnick does want a midfielder, because when he first came in, he identified Manchester United's midfield as a weakness. By the way, Crystal Palace are in talks with Manchester United over getting Donny van de Beek on loan. Crystal Palace are hopeful of concluding a loan deal for Donny van de Beek. A few days ago now, Fabrizio Romano said that Crystal Palace submitted an offer to sign Donny van de Beek on loan until the end of the season. Any loan move will not include an option to buy, as Manchester United intend on keeping Donny van de Beek next season. But Man United are open to loaning him out this month. Man United want Van de Beek's wages paid in full. Earlier on this season, it did say that Van de Beek is not allowed to leave Manchester United. He did have a bust-up with his agent, but you can't blame him for wanting to leave. He hasn't been given enough opportunities under Rangnick. He didn't get enough opportunities under Solskjaer. Van de Beek's only scored 2 goals for the club. He's been a Manchester United player for almost 2 years. Manchester United got Van de Beek from Ajax. We got him for 40 million with add-ons included. We paid 35 million up front and there was 5 million in add-ons. He's under contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Hakim Diallo has joined Rangers on loan until the end of the season without a buy option. It's the right decision to put Hakim Diallo out on loan, because he will gain more experience and he'll definitely get more opportunities at Rangers. He only made a few first team appearances for Man United. And the other day, it got confirmed that Mauricio joined Sevilla on loan until the end of the season. Sevilla didn't pay a loan fee and there's no option to buy, but Sevilla are paying Anthony Martial's wages until June. Now, Rangnick, he's been Manchester United's interim manager for almost 2 months now. Rangnick has 5 wins from 8 league games so far, and he's only lost 1 game. He's managed 10 games in all competitions so far. Rangnick will receive a £500,000 bonus if he leads Manchester United to a top 4 finish. Rangnick earns £180,000 a week. Man United are in the top 4 now after beating West Ham last weekend 1-0. The goal came from Marcus Rashford in the 93rd minute. Man United have won the last 2 league games. Now, like I updated you not so long ago, Manchester United have put their search for a new manager on hold after being impressed by Ralph Rangnick since he took charge in December. Manchester United are considering offering Rangnick the job on a permanent basis. By the way, Rangnick is willing to let 4 players leave following the emergence of Anthony Elanga. There's been good performances under Rangnick. There's also been poor performances as well. So he is our interim manager till the end of the season, and it did initially say that Rangnick will continue in a consultancy role for a further 2 years. But he's no longer under pressure now, but revert back to earlier on this season, there was reports coming out saying that Rangnick's already under pressure. And it said that, Rangnick was already losing the dressing room and 17 Manchester United players were unhappy and wanted to leave. Don't forget Manchester United changed formation under Rangnick. The new formation is the 4-3-3 formation. To be honest with you, that formation seems to suit our standards under Rangnick. Obviously, Rangnick scrapped the 4-2-2 formation because quite clearly that formation wasn't working. Rangnick's made changes since he's come in. Like I've said so many times, he brought Ewan Sharp in as an assistant coach and analyst. He also brought Saz Chalens in as a sports psychologist, and he brought Chris Armas in as an assistant coach. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. The other week, Rangnick said that he wants Erik ten Hag to become Manchester United's next manager. I presume there's a lot of Manchester United fans that would like to see Erik ten Hag get recommended in. You've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. He's won a couple of titles with them. Revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals, and I like the way he develops young players. Erik ten Hag has been Ajax manager since 2017. His contract at Ajax expires next year. Ajax is the fourth club he's managing in his managerial career, because before Ajax he managed Utrecht, before then he managed Bayern Munich's reserves, and before then he managed Go Ahead Eagles. Mauricio Pochettino, he's been relentlessly linked with a permanent role at Man United. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United should have got Pochettino, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. Pochettino is PSG's manager. I think he's won a French Cup with them. I think his contract at PSG expires next year. He's a good manager, Pochettino. Even though he's hardly won anything, he's proven in the Premier League, which is beneficial. Before, Pochettino endured a 5.5-year managerial tenure at Tottenham. Back in 2018, he got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final, and at one point when he was Tottenham manager, he almost won the league. And before Tottenham, he managed Southampton. He only enjoyed a short managerial tenure at Southampton, but he still managed to guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. So they're the clubs he's managed in the Premier League so far, and before then he managed Espanyol. I'm hearing that Brendan Rodgers is on Man United's shortlist, but there's a lot of United fans that do have reservations about Brendan Rodgers becoming the club's next manager. Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson retired. We sacked David Moyes, we sacked Louis van Gaal, we sacked Jose Mourinho, and we sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer last year. Ed Woodward, he's been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. The good news is, from a Manchester United perspective, that Woodward is stepping down at the end of this month. Ed Woodward's had like a 17-year association with the club. Richard Arnold will replace Ed Woodward as the new chief executive on the 1st of February. You've got to say the Glazers, they've been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. The Glazers have owned Manchester United for around 16 and a half years now. They bought the club for 500 million back in 2005. Revert back to April last year, Manchester United fans protested against the Glazers at Old Trafford and at the Carrington training ground because the Glazers were planning to scrap the Champions League for that European Super League. But since Ferguson retired, Man United have been playing catch-up, and Man United must have spent around 1.2 billion. And we've definitely brought over 40 players in since Ferguson retired. And let me put into the equation, none of this squad is Rangnick. Rangnick is inheriting players who other managers have brought in. Manchester United have not won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That's 9 years ago now. But Man United have won 20 titles, and 13 of them are Premier League titles. Players are going to depart Manchester United this year, but I think most of Manchester United's outgoings will be the summer. Maybe one or two more will leave the club in this January transfer window. So, Edinson Cavani, he will leave in the summer probably, because revert back to earlier on this season, Ralph Rangnick said that he said Edinson Cavani wants to stay at Manchester United until the end of the season. Cavani's contract at Man United expires in the summer. Manchester United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Cavani came on in the 1-0 win against West Ham, and he got the assist for Marcus Rashford's winning goal. A lot of people said that Cavani was offside. Cavani had an injury not so long ago, and revert back to earlier on this season, he had a couple of injuries. Last year, Cavani was linked with Barcelona. He said last year that he actually agreed to join Barcelona on an 18-month contract. Barcelona was seeing him as a replacement for Aguero, because Aguero retired due to heart problems. Last year as well, Cavani rejected a move to Boca Juniors, and Juventus went in for him. Juan Mata, he'll be leaving the club as well this year. Mata's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Revert back to last year, Man United extended Mata's contract for a further year. Mata lost his place in the team a while ago, didn't he? And he's ageing up, lost that yard of pace. But despite that, he's had a good career at Manchester United, Juan Mata. Mata has made 276 appearances in all competitions, and he's scored 51 goals. Mata's been at Man United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Manchester United got Mata from Chelsea back in 2014. We paid, 37.1 million. Like I say, Jessie Lingard, he'll leave this year. He's probably going to leave in the summer now, because we're struggling to offload him in this January transfer window. Donny van der Beek, good chance he's going to be going out on loan, like I've mentioned. Matic, I think he'll depart the club this year. I've always had my reservations about Matic because he's always been a static midfielder, plus he's ageing up, but despite that he's had his good games at Manchester United. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that he still seems to get his opportunities. He's the only predominant centre defensive midfielder we've got at the moment. Matic is out of contract at Man United in the summer. Manchester United got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017, got him for 40 million. Paul Pogba, there's a good chance that he'll be leaving the club in the summer. Pogba's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Revert back to the other month, the Sun said that Manchester United offered Paul Pogba a new £500,000 a week contract. That would have made Pogba the highest paid player in Premier League history, but Pogba actually came out and denied that he'd been offered that contract. Earlier on this season, Pogba apparently told Man United he wants to join Real Madrid in the summer, but he said PSG is the most likely destination for Pogba. Because Pogba not so long ago held talks with PSG. Pogba's set to return to action after the international break. Rangnick confirmed the other week Pogba was out with injury for a while. He is injury prone, which is a concern. This season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. He's played 212 games and he's scored 38 times. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far. Manchester United paid £89 million for Paul Pogba, so reflecting on that, is our most expensive signing at the moment. Phil Jones and Eric Bailly, they'll depart the club this year. Phil Jones obviously doesn't get in the team. He did play though in the game against Wolves at Old Trafford, only because Maguire picked up an injury. And Jones was our best performer against Wolves. It was his first Premier League appearance since January 2020. At one point, Jones was out with a knee injury for a while. Jones is only the outfield player that's still with us from the Ferguson era. You know, this season is his 11th season at Man United, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Eric Bailly, you know, he doesn't get in the team much. He lost his place in the team a while ago, obviously, with Man United signing Varane last summer, and for some reason Lindelof's been preferred to Eric Bailly. Bailly's been at the African Cup of Nations. The last game he played for Man United was the 3-1 win against Burnley, but Bailly obviously came off injured in that game. He's injury prone, which is a concern. Manchester United got Bailly from Villarreal back in 2016. We paid £30 million for him. We brought him in under the Jose Mourinho era. So Bailly's been at Man United over 5 years now. Back in April last year, he signed a new contract with the club until 2024. Do you think Tellez will go this year? I hope he doesn't, because, you know, he's done well under Rangnick. He's our first choice left back under Rangnick. Do you think Dalot could leave this year? Maybe not, because he's been impressive under Rangnick, and Dalot's our first choice right back under Rangnick. Reports from Spain said not so long ago that Man United will look to sell Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the summer. That duo are not good enough to represent the club, and Manchester United will be looking to get rid of Dean Henderson permanently. Dean Henderson is our second choice goalkeeper. Henderson doesn't get in goal now because, revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. Henderson's only made 2 appearances this season, but earlier on this season he had COVID for a while. And obviously, you know the news on Cristiano Ronaldo. Reports from Spain have said that Cristiano Ronaldo wants a return to Real Madrid. Before, Ronaldo endured like 9.5 years at Real Madrid. That's before he went to Juventus, and Ronaldo's asked his agent Jorge Mendes to find him another club. Earlier on this season, Ronaldo was targeted by PSG. Ronaldo faces a 25% pay cut should Man United fail to qualify for the Champions League. Well, Ronaldo will leave Man United in the summer anyway if they fail to qualify for the Champions League. Don't forget, a couple of weeks ago, Ronaldo gave an interview and he was very critical of the youngsters. So reflecting on that, he's demanding more from the youngsters. And, you know, Ronaldo was backing Ralph Rangnick to do a good job at Man United. And he also said, I'm not at Man United to compete for 6th or 7th. He said, finishing below 3rd is unacceptable. Ronaldo did play against West Ham last weekend. To be fair, he did well. He was a doubt though for the game because he actually picked up a neck injury, but he obviously ended up recovering from that neck injury. He's had a few injuries, Ronaldo, since he re-signed for the club, and Ronaldo was furious for being substituted against Brentford, but Ralph Rangnick defended his decision to substitute Ronaldo against Brentford. So, Manchester United's next game is Middlesbrough in the FA Cup, 4th round. It is at Old Trafford. It's the 4th of February. It's next Friday. The last time Manchester United played Middlesbrough was back in March 2017, almost 5 years ago now. Manchester United won that game 3-1. Manchester United progressed to the 4th round of the FA Cup by beating Aston Villa 1-0 in the 3rd round. You know, we will be going into the game against Middlesbrough having won our last 2 games in a row. As for Middlesbrough, obviously they're in the Championship. They got to the 4th round of the FA Cup by beating Mansfield in the 3rd round. Middlesbrough's manager is Chris Wilder. Middlesbrough appointed him in last year to replace Neil Warnock. Middlesbrough sacked Neil Warnock last year. Chris Wilder, you know, he's managed quite a few clubs in his managerial career. You know, before Middlesbrough, he managed Sheffield United. I remember Chris Wilder when he was in the Premier League with Sheffield. Before Sheffield, he managed Northampton. Before as well, he's managed Oxford and Halifax, and before he managed Alfred Town, and I think at one point he was the Bury assistant. I do know quite a few of the players that Middlesbrough have got. Obviously they've got Aaron Connolly, Isaiah Jones, Josh Coburn, they've got Andras Spora. They also have Johnny Howson, Riley McGree, Marcus Brown, he's out with injury. They have Mark Boller, he's been out with injury. They've got Paddy McNair. They've got Neil Taylor, Matt Crooks. So they are quite a few of the players that Middlesbrough have. But I'm expecting Manchester United to beat Middlesbrough, and I'm expecting Rangnick to rotate for that game. Manchester United's next league game is Burnley. So, anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.